All right, everybody, it's me again. And I am back to talk to you about very fun things of privacy and confidentiality, as well as sexual harassment and boundaries with other staff members. So let's get into the fun stuff. First, talking about camper privacy and confidentiality. So as camp staff, you may learn relevant identifiable information about your campers, including things like their full name, their medical conditions, any allergies. You might even know like custody situation in terms of who's allowed to pick kids up, who's not. This information may not and must not be shared or discussed with anyone inside or out of camp. This is certainly information that I am privy to, Jessica is privy to, Sarah is privy to, Omira is privy to. But other than that, administration knows things about your kids. You may know things about your kids. Nobody else should know things about your kids. So if you are a counselor, you might not even know some of this stuff about your campers. Group leaders are given this information and administration knows it. But other than that, this should not be information that you discuss. Even if other staff in camp you want to talk about kids, don't talk about this stuff. So basically, we ask that you try not to talk about kids we ask that you do not talk about your campers by name ever. So if you're at dinner with, let's say after work one day, a couple of you say, hey, let's go to Applebee's or let's go to McDonald's or whatever, wherever you want to go to dinner. Let's say that you do that and you're talking about camp. Do not talk about kids by name. That is something that you could get in legal trouble for because you never know who's around you. You don't know if your waitress is so-and-so's cousin. You don't know if the lady sitting behind you is somebody's grandma or whatever. So you just don't share that information with anybody ever. Be mindful of the conversations you're having in public. If you want to talk about your campers, we all need to vent sometimes. If you want to talk about your campers, you can. Just don't talk about them by name. Make up fake names, give them nicknames. There are many ways to do that. Just do not talk about campers with any private information of theirs in public. You can get in a lot of trouble for that. Next thing is sexual harassment and boundaries. The staff manual has this information on page 7, and Jessica can kind of go over that a little bit more in detail. But basically, dating in the workplace or pursuing a relationship in the workplace can be considered sexual harassment. So please, please, please leave your personal relationships at the door. It happens every year. Camp love, camp relationships, camp stuff is a thing. It happens every year. If it happens, leave your relationships at the door. Do not bring it into work with you. And you should never, ever, 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 ever be having any kind of relationship with a camper. You really shouldn't be having relationships between each other. But if you do, leave it at the door. If a camper is your relative, I know we have on staff this year, we have parents, we have cousins, we have siblings, we have lots of people who are related to our campers. That's great. We love that we have you guys as a resource and, familiar faces to our campers here at camp. That's awesome. Please maintain the boundaries when you are at camp. So that means if there's an issue with your relative who's a camper, please bring it to administration. Don't go directly to that staff member. The way that any family member of a camper would be asked to handle those situations is by going through administration. So please follow those rules as in the role of family member of camper and not as a staff member, if that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, like I said, about sexual harassment and boundaries, please refer to page 7 in the staff manual. Basically, just leave your relationships at the door. Don't bring anything into work. And if there are any issues, arise, please come to Jessica or Sarah or Omira or I to have those conversations. All right, guys, I think that's everything for me. So you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see anybody who will be there tomorrow at open house. And then I will see everybody on Monday morning for our first day of camp. Yay!